Yeah. 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 What you know about benchmark? They're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Deshaun Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. Taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. They clearing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tune in now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow. We know.
I was over here chugging Bud Lights.
You're welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Podcast. As y'all already heard, we kind of, just laid back, chilling over here. Mom throwing back Bud Lights, CJ Moneybags counting up the bread. And, the star of the show, Greg hops on whenever he want to hop on. We typically start recording around like 6 o'clock, but it's just let y'all know it's 8 o'clock. So give y'all a little bit of reference. 2 hour late time difference with Greg. But we appreciate it. We love him. He does such a great job. But just let y'all know, if y'all ever ask, when we fully blow up, who's the diva on the show, it would have to be Greg. That's definitely the diva of the show. But how y'all doing tonight? Y'all can all go whenever y'all choose to speak. How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, God. And I'm good, bro. 2 hours late? That's cap. 2 hours late is cap. Man, I ain't even showered for this one today. I just came straight from hooping, though.
Musty as hell.
Nah, for real. This
You doing our listeners a disservice.
This is critical, bro.
Hey, when we go in person, we want you to take a shower, though.
No, for sure. When we go in person, it's gonna be. When we start to go, we won't talk about this on the show, but we go in person. Yeah, it's gonna be punctuality is gonna be a key.
It's gonna be key.
Punctuality. I gotta be better. I'm about to be better.
Yeah, bro. When we go in person, we're not gonna be starting until midnight. Great.
Chill.
Late night show. You feel me?
Chill. The in person gonna be tough though. Hey, Kurt, you got like the extra. You got the 5-bedroom basement alone, so it'll be good.
I'll be
got plenty of space.
Hey, Mr. Smooth Operator, I ain't heard from you. How are you tonight? I mean, I think we could, guess how you're doing with the Bud Lights, but how are you doing tonight?
Oh, we're talking to me. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I needed something to. There's a lot going on today at work, so I needed a little something to take the edge off.
I get it.
That's the first sign of.
I get it.
It's hard. It's hard being light skinned and single in this world. So a lot on your shoulders every day. Fresh waves. You having girls getting seasick. A lot on your shoulders, man. It's a lot of options you got to, parlay through. But we're gonna get started. We got to start here. We've joked about it, but it's a serious topic. Deshaun Watson, now it's come to 22 women have filed lawsuits. 2 of them came out today and spoke out on it, saying some really concerning things that they ended up having to go to a sex trauma. They had to see trauma therapists. They suffer from panic attacks, anxiety, and depression. This was said of Ashley Solis and Lauren Baxley, and now this is expected to go to court. They are not going to settle. What's your takeaways from this Deshaun Watson situation? And it looks very serious. Are we even going to see a Deshaun Watson back in the league?
I think we will see him back in the league because we've seen, Frank, this is not to belittle this. We've seen very serious things in the NFL with other players, like murder cases. Like murder cases go to trial and guys come back and play football, right? If you're good, they'll have you back with open arms. So long as he's not criminally indicted, they'll have you back. The NFL doesn't have any moral compass. Let's not act like that's what we're dealing with right now. But I think for me, when it set in for me that when this all got real for me was when the lawyer's defense was to come out and name I think it was 20 or 18. It was like between 18 to 20 other massage therapists he'd seen that gave testimonies about him not being troublesome. And the reason why that raises a red flag for me is because if that's your defense, why is Deshaun Watson seeing 50 massage therapists in the course of 4 years? Bro, makes no sense. Makes no sense. It's a horrible defense. And if that's your only defense, then hey man, I just being honestly, I didn't want this to be true. I don't think anybody wanted it to be true. Deshaun Watson has a very likable persona, but it goes back to something we said on the show before. You don't know these guys. You don't know these guys. You don't know them personally. It kind of feels like you do because you root for them and you have an emotional attachment to all these athletes. But at the end of the day, we don't know them. We don't know what they do with their personal time. And when that's the defense, that's the best thing your lawyer can come up with. That is a red flag and a major indictment. So look, this doesn't look good. The Deshaun Watson trade is the last thing he's got to worry about. It's the last thing anyone's worried about. Although I heard there are still teams calling Texans. Like I was watching Chris Sims' show on NBC and Pro Football Talk, and they said that teams are still calling the Texans about him. So you see what I'm saying? Like even with everything that's going on around him, the NFL has no moral compass. They're not worried about none of this. They think it'll pass. I know the timing was suspicious of when all these allegations came out. But at the end of the day, there seems to be some validity to it. So everyone's got to take it seriously. And I don't think anyone can have like a surefire stance on this now. You got to be in the middle now. Now you just got to wait. Don't say nothing, because Deshaun sure as hell has not proven his innocence. And neither is his lawyer. So that's what we're at.
In this situation, I think we just got to let it play out and see what comes of it. The evidence so far of what people are saying and the text and the emails and the written letters is not looking good for Deshaun. But to Greg's point, the Cowboys signed Greg Hardy, who literally threw his girlfriend at the time on a bed of guns and told her to choose which gun she wanted to die with. And he got a contract months after.
Because he could play.
Months after that contract. So that's the NFL for you. And specifically, Cowboys love signing former inmates and everybody. If you got a criminal record, the Cowboys will sign. But Miles, Chris, your takeaways on it.
I mean, at first it was a little skeptical, like the timing, but now the more people that come out, and after today with the couple women coming out and speaking to the media, now it's starting to become a little more real, because it's like, all right, at first we thought it was because he wanted out of Houston, and now they're trying to find ways to, keep the brother down. But now it just seems like maybe this guy has a side to him that we don't get to see. We get to see the guy who's in Houston, in the community, doing great things over there. But there's a guy behind those doors, a guy who, outside of his 9 to 5, who knows what he does. So it's like, you question more than just him. There's plenty of people out there who are a little troubled. Like, you don't see it on the surface, but behind closed doors, they definitely have, I don't want to say demons, but they got their own issues that they're dealing with. So I don't know if this is something that has been going on just since he's been in the league, maybe even longer than that too. So the deeper they dive into this and dig deeper, it seems like more things are going to come to the light. Like, you might see something from college, like even high school. Who knows how long he's been going to massage therapists? Because, he's been a top prospect for years. So it's like, these guys are going to treat their body how they want to, and they want to stay fresh. So clearly he wasn't motivated to just do this without, I don't know. This whole thing is just confusing, because it's like, I even thought like Deshaun was a good dude. I still think he's probably a good dude on the surface, but if this many women are coming out, kind of like the Bill Cosby thing, if this many women come out against you, then they can't all be lying. They're all not in a group text thinking like, oh, maybe we should, blackmail Deshaun Watson and tarnish his name. It's like, I don't think they're all from the same place. So there's definitely some validity to it.
Yeah, with that many people, it's hard to say. If it was one or two, maybe they're lying, maybe they blackmail. But at this point of 22 women, hey, we got to watch and see how this play out. But it does not look good right now for Deshaun. Chris, you had anything that you wanted to add on to the conversation on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think both Greg and Miles hit on a good point. I mean, when doing the research on Deshaun Watson, it's hard to like Greg said, we don't know him personally. We don't know what he does in his free time. We don't know where he be at, and the fact that like this man has, like the 18 women that came, not to his defense, but the 18 women that said like, hey, we've given Deshaun Watson massages over the years, and he has never made us feel uncomfortable, right? That's if that's your defense, obviously that's poor, but those 18 women have collectively massaged Deshaun Watson more than 130 times. The question that comes to mind is, why are there so many different women giving you all these different massages, right? Because if you're an athlete and you're saying, hey, I want to take care of my body, typically you get a massage therapist. You get one person, maybe two, but this is just 18 women that have came to his defense. But what about the other women that he's gotten massages from? Like, you got to wonder, why the hell do you have so many different people giving you massages? Isn't there one person that you trust that to give you that massage? Is it, the flexibility of, hey, when I'm in this state, I go to this person. When I'm in this state, I go to that person. If that's the case, that may be different, but it does raise some red flags, some question marks. But I think the main thing is that we all have to realize and reflect on is like, hey, as good of a player as he is, and as fun he is to watch, like, hard to discredit these women's claims just based on us enjoying watching him. Because again, I'm in the same boat as Miles. They can't all be lying. That's a lot of women that don't know each other that just be coming out saying this random stuff, and it's all the same. There's too many similarities here in their stories to say, yeah, they're lying. Deshaun's probably getting blackmailed, because I don't think that's the case, and it's unfortunate. And we just got to hope that the facts are all laid out there and let the investigation carry on.
Yeah, prayers out to the situation, to Deshaun Watson, to the woman that's involved. Hope justice is served. Transition to a lighter note. One of Miles' closest friends, Sam Darnold, has been traded to the Carolina Panthers. Who's the winner of this trade? What's your takes on this? And my biggest question on this, when it comes to Sam Darnold, is this actually a better situation for him? You got Chris McCaffrey there, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, just to name a few. Is this a better situation for Darnold to actually flourish?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, but Miles turned the camera on his Jets sweatshirt.
The Jets lost the trade. I don't even know why he's doing that.
Yeah,
The Jets lost that trade.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Jets went ahead and lost that trade. But hey, if they think Zach Wilson's their guy, which is where all insights going right now is that they're going to draft Zach Wilson, then that's the decision that they have to make and live with. I just pray they do right by Zach Wilson more than they did Sam Darnold, because the good thing with Sam Darnold is he's getting a fresh start, an open book, turn the page on page one and start his career over. And this kid, he's young. He has a lot of. I think he's 23 years old. He has a lot of football left in his career, but people are automatically assuming the job is his. They just signed Teddy Bridgewater last year to a 3-year, $63 million deal, and I believe their coach said, not their coach, their general manager had said that, hey, he's going to have to earn this job. They view Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold as starting quarterbacks, so he's going to have to come to camp, ready to play, which I'm sure he will. Like we talked about, he's a good quarterback. He can play in this league. He's a starting quarterback. He just needs to be in the right system with a team that or an organization that believes in him and that's going to give him pieces to succeed. And they have the pieces there. You already mentioned they have DJ Moore. They have Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey. Those are 3 big weapons right there that some teams don't have. Some teams maybe have one weapon on their offense, and a mediocre, cast players and whatnot. So
the Jets had that. The Jets didn't have no weapons for him.
Exactly.
He just came in that situation.
Right. Exactly. So he's probably thrilled that he's going to that type of environment, a team that was in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl a few years ago. So if he comes to camp ready to play and he wins that starting job, I have no doubt that they're going to win games this year. Will they be a playoff team? Maybe not. He has to learn their system and whatnot. But I do think it's interesting how this kind of all ties back to Deshaun Watson a little bit too, because a few months ago, I think back in January, the Panthers tried to make that trade when Deshaun Watson had mentioned, hey, I want out of Houston. They picked up the phone. They called the Houston organization. They offered him a pick or whatever, and I guess their what's his name?
McCaffrey?
The new coach over there or new general manager over there. What the article I read said he seemed annoyed by a team reaching out so soon after Deshaun had made the claim that he wanted to leave, right? So it's not like I think what's going on with Deshaun Watson right now is the point I'm getting to. The Panthers are kind of sending the message like, hey, no matter how good he is, and I get other teams are still calling him, we want no part in that. We'll go ahead and play the safe route and still draft a good quarterback that we feel we can win with. We don't need Deshaun Watson and to be messed up in all that drama that's going on right now.
One thing I want to ask as a follow-up, anybody can answer this. It came out today, maybe a couple hours ago. Panthers had granted Teddy Bridgewater the access to find a trade. Do you think for Teddy Bridgewater, it would be his best interest to try to go elsewhere? Or is this his best opportunity to actually start?
He should go somewhere else.
Yeah, he needs to go somewhere else.
He go somewhere else. He can end his team's a sorry quarterbacks. He can go beat Andy Dalton tomorrow for a job in Chicago. The Bears can give him a second-round pick, give him some assets, and they'll get themselves a starting quarterback. They'll be in better shape for getting Teddy Bridgewater. So him going to the Bears makes a lot of sense. Playing with Allen Robinson, that's the matchup right there. That's it. I don't want to go any further than that. That's the situation. That's the place he needs to steer himself to. Get to Chicago, you'll be straight. But as far as who won the trade, whenever you get a young, talented quarterback who's 23 years old, I think at that age, right? I've been very consistent in saying that the Jets should have rocked out with Sam Darnold. I've been saying that from the beginning. I said, hey, trade that second pick, get a boatload back, and actually invest in this guy, give him a chance, right? And they didn't do that. They didn't do that, and they gave you the PR spin saying that they think he's good, and if they'd have the second overall pick, they would do what they have Zach Wilson rated higher. So we'll see how they treat Zach Wilson out here and give him. I bet Joe Douglas gives him a shot to succeed. You're already seeing him lay to pieces. The Corey Davis signing was for him. So we'll see, but I think Sam Darnold's gonna go out there and play real well. With a way better offensive. It's the coaching. It's having the guy from LSU, Joe Brady, having him being your offensive coordinator, being with Matt Rule, who's an actual football coach, as opposed to Adam Gase, right? Like, hey, anybody who's coached by Adam Gase deserves the benefit of the doubt. Adam Gase is horrible. That's just the bottom line of it. So he'll do big things. But anytime you get a young talented quarterback, you win. I thought the Jets got a little lowball for that deal, to be honest. Sam Darnold's not bad. I mean, it wasn't a bad deal. It just was okay. It was like, y'all didn't get a first.
They only got a 6th round this year, and then
the second round next year.
Second and the third next year or something like that. Yeah,
and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just y'all could have got a first, bro. Y'all could have got a first.
Who's giving up a first for Sam Darnold?
Not now, but let him rock. What's the rush in trading him? I mean, Zach Wilson better be tough. You know what? That's the flip side of this. Zach Wilson better be it. He would be all that. Because if he's not, Joe Douglas is out of there. He's out of there. He better be that guy. Because you're betting your career on Zach Wilson now by trading one guy out of town who's highly regarded around the league. People like Sam Darnold. We talk trash about these quarterbacks. These guys in the league are paid to evaluate him. They like this guy, right? They think he's good. So, hey, man, if you're gonna do that, fine. But he's playing poker right now. He's playing high stakes Russian roulette. You better make sure that Zach Wilson's that guy. Because if he's not, I'll see you later.
Yeah, alluding to that. So obviously Zach Wilson, this is going to be his job, right? What does that do for his timetable on success?
Put the pressure on him. Put the pressure on him from the jump. And I'm sure he's probably feeling that pressure now too. Knowing that trick, this solidifies that they're going to take him, right? He's already had multiple Zoom interviews with them. he probably knows that he's their guy. And I'm sure he's probably feeling that pressure too. Like, damn, I got to be NFL ready right now. There's no timetable. I mean, what they should have done was let him sit behind Sam Darnold for a year, let Sam play this year, and figure out, like Greg said, there's no rush in trading Sam Darnold. He's probably more ready now than Zach Wilson's going to be, opening day. So Zach Wilson's definitely feeling that pressure right now. Miles, what you?
Yeah, I want to hear from Jets, Jets.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
I mean, of course, the trade on the surface doesn't look that good, seeing as how we traded 3 second-round picks to get up to 3 to draft Sam, and now we're trading them 3 years later for a 2, a 4th, and a 6th. I mean, that just shows how far this thing's gone. Like, it's been a bad ride for Sam in New York, and I mean, the sad fact is this is what it took to get him out. Is like you have to take. I don't want to say a shitty offer. A bad offer, but that's kind of what happened here. I mean, I don't think there were too many teams willing to offer a first-round pick for a guy who is going into the 4th year. He's coming up on a contract extension, so it's like either he's gonna be the guy for you or he's not. Like, the Panthers are taking a chance, and I mean, it's a good chance. They didn't really give up any top picks. They didn't have to give up a first-round pick. They gave up a 2 next year, but you're getting Sam for the next 2 years because they're going to pick up that option. So now you get him in your building, get to see what he can do with good coaching. I'm rooting for Sam. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but it's just kind of how the business of the NFL is. If you don't produce and you haven't earned that contract extension, then I don't know. You got to kind of get rid of that guy.
Bro, I want to see your facial expressions.
The nerve of Miles got a lot of nerve, yo, to say if you don't produce, whose fault did he didn't produce?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Oh,
but how do you feel confident paying a guy $30 million a year?
You don't have to pay him. you have the 5th-year option to play with. You'll let him rock for 2 more years and build something sustainable around the guy and give him a chance to play football. He had talent coming out of USC. Yeah,
so the Giants
got killed for not picking him.
If you had a chance to pick your guy this year, but you still have Sam on your team, you're going to let this play out? You're going to wait 2 years and then you find out that maybe we should have taken that chance.
The Jets could have literally picked up Zach Wilson and let him sit and let Sam rock, build up his confidence, and then get him out of there for a first.
It would have increased his draft, not his draft,
his value.
Yeah.
But if he's playing well
this year, you could have got a first next year.
Yeah.
Then what? If he's playing extremely well here, then what? You have Zach Wilson.
Then you're in a wonderful situation. How is
that wonderful?
It's wonderful. Are you kidding me? You get your pick in the litter. Guess what? Zach hasn't played it down yet. Let's play this out real quick. Sam goes out there. He throws 30 touchdowns this year. He throws 5 interceptions. He balls out. He's a Pro Bowler. Cool. Jets make the playoffs, right? Jets win the Super Bowl. Whatever. Let's just have fun with this. Let's just say that's never gonna happen. Let's just say all right, but whatever. So the Jets win the Super Bowl. All right, cool. Yo, you have Zach Wilson on the bench. You go into next offseason. The training camp OTAs opens up. You let them compete. Lose with the job. Gets traded. Zach Wilson hasn't played it down. He's still gonna have crazy value because they don't know.
But he's not gonna get traded for that 1st-round pick.
Who's that?
You're not gonna get a 1st-round pick for him if he loses the job to Sam Darnold after 3 years.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Miles is probably right on this one.
Not necessarily.
Not gonna go for a first.
Not necessarily, because if you let Zach Wilson play these preseason games, you'll be surprised. The hype builds up quick. You let him play some preseason games, he balls out. You'd be surprised. You go for a first, but you'll get a first from a desperate team. The Bears are desperate, man. They have Dalton starting. You can't tell me you can't get a 1st-round pick from the Bears, bro. I'm surprised the Bears didn't go after Sam Darnold. How stupid are they? Like, yo, there are teams out there that need quarterbacks real bad. There are bad quarterback situations in the league. It could have happened.
Miles, is Zach Wilson, you think, so like we already mentioned, the timetable for him to succeed has been moved up. Do you think he's going to be able to be successful in the first year, 2 years? Because the timeline moved up essentially. You trade away Sam Darnold, he has to come in at the number 2 pick, and he got to perform. Is he ready?
You can say that about any first round quarterback taken. Like there's pressure on them to be successful right away. Like there's pressure on Trevor. There's pressure on Justin. There's pressure on all these guys who are going to go top 5, top 10. Like it's not just Zach. Just because the Jets struggled with Sam, now it adds a little bit more pressure. But I mean, the Jaguars have been bad. Like they made it to the AFC Championship and might have made it to the Super Bowl if not for some lucky Patriots BS that year. But they made it with Blake Bortles. Like they didn't need a quarterback, but now you're seeing this is a quarterback-driven league, and there's a little more pressure on all these quarterbacks. So I don't know. I'm guessing Zach. He's not going to get the same leeway as Sam, especially coming in. Sam had a rough go at it, and I feel bad for the kid, but I think he's going to come in here and he's going to do his thing because this time around he's set up for success way better than Sam was ever set up for success. Like they're building around him the way that they should have built around Sam, which was the big mistake that old GM made. He was paying for flashy pieces. He paid Le'Veon way too much. He paid CJ Mosley way too much. And it was like, you want to go after these splashy pickups, but when you see Joe Douglas, he's giving out short-term deals to guys with potential. Like you don't want to just pay for production that they had before they got to your team. You want to pay for what they could do for your team now. So I like the moves that the Jets have made so far, which is going to take a little more pressure off of Zach. I mean, if you're drafting that high and you're taking a quarterback, you're not going to have him sit behind somebody that you're trying to build their stock up to trade them. Like Sam had to be traded this year. It was either him or they trade down. Like if you keep Sam, you have to trade down. If you don't keep Sam, you stay where you're at. So that's the state of the Jets right now. And I'm not upset where we're at. It sucks that we're in this position again because I thought 3 years ago Sam would be here for maybe 10, 15 years, but here we are. You can't blame the structure of an organization. Like the Jets have been poorly run for some time, but now they have a GM who somewhat knows what he's doing. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. All I'm gonna say on it, like Zach Wilson, especially in the New York market, he's gonna have to perform in these first 2 or 3 years. Top 5 picks, we're gonna predict them. Chris started off. Who you think is going? Jags, Jets, 49ers, Falcons, Bengals.
Jags going Trevor Lawrence. I think they made that clear. Everyone's made that clear for a while that he's going number 1. You know, they haven't opposed to it. Number 2, Zach Wilson. That became clear over the past week that they want to take him. Number 3, you said San Fran, right?
Yeah.
I think the 49ers going to Mac Jones Pro Day over Justin Fields kind of shows how high they're feeling about Mac Jones. I know we talked about it. We have mixed feelings. It's funny. Greg put that picture in the group chat today with the body comparisons, right? And we talked about on the show the other day about how we hear Justin Fields, work ethic isn't where it needs to be. And then you see the picture of their body comparisons and you're like, whose work ethic isn't where it needs to be, right? So, hey, Mac Jones can play, Justin Fields can play, but from an agility standpoint and an all-around standpoint, the RPO, which is what Kyle Shanahan said he wanted, why would you be looking at Mac Jones over Justin Fields? But regardless, I think they're going to take Mac Jones. So I'll say Mac Jones to San Fran at number 3, which is crazy that his draft stock is that high. But that's a conversation for another day. Number 4, who's that number 4?
Falcons.
The Falcons. Wow. Do they go? Do we really see 4 quarterbacks go the first 4 picks of the draft?
I don't think so.
I could see them adding another piece to their wide receiver core. I could really see they got Julio Jones, who's getting up there in age, had an okay season last year. They got Calvin Ridley, who's a great talent. I could see them trying to maybe get a Devontae Smith or a Jamar Chase just to make a splash, right, and be able to go into shootouts with teams on Sundays. I'll say Jamar Chase I'm confident saying Jamar Chase at 4. And I think the Bengals go ahead and take Penny Sewell and protect Joe Burrow and don't take any chances. Yeah. Especially after the pro day he had last week.
Miles, Greg, before y'all go, I guess y'all could really tell me from 3 to 5, because is it safe to say we all agree Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, top 2 picks?
Yeah.
All right, Greg, 3 to 5.
Oh, 3 we got. Yeah. So Adam Schefter came out today and really doubled down the Mac Jones thing. He really solidified it. So I'm I know I'm the hot take guy on the show. I can tell you, he said that he's heard pretty clearly from the camp around the 49ers that they're gonna take Mac Jones. Like, they're pretty confident. People around the league are pretty confident Mac Jones is gonna go number 3, which is a whole different rant for a different day. I'm trying to contain myself here, so we're not gonna talk about that. That's fine. Mac Jones, we'll say Mac Jones now for 3. If they don't take Mac Jones, it'll be the greatest smoke screen in draft history. I'll say that too. But we'll say Mac Jones. I still kind of don't believe it. I feel wrong saying it, but fine. Mac Jones. Go over it. They go to the Falcons. The Falcons trying to trade out this pick. That's the rumor that they're interested in trading out today. But for these purposes, Chris, you have a good. I don't disagree. They could go weapon. I don't know if it's Jamar Chase they go with weapon. I think it'd be Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the first weapon off the board. He's the best tight end prospect we ever seen. For real. It's incredible. It's a shame that he won't be wearing big blue. But I think that he could be a Falcon. I could see that being the case, and I could see that going that way. And then you get to 5. Who we got at 5 again?
Bengals.
Yo, so the Bengals will do something stupid. But you should be used to this. So I don't think they're going to go with Penny Sewell. Penny Sewell's been falling down the board. Now, I don't know if that's going to stay the same. I hope they take an offensive tackle, and I could be sensible and tell you that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to take Jamar Chase. They're going to take Jamar Chase because they had a breakout season with Joe Burrow, and it was a safety blanket all year at LSU. So while he'll be running for his life and won't be able to give him the ball, you have a lot of weapons out there that he won't be able to get the ball to. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. But Penny Sewell would be the smart choice. I think it'll be Jamar Chase at 5 if we're gonna go that far. But yeah.
Yo, before you go, Miles, I've been hearing that a lot, listening to a bunch of Bengals podcasts and whatnot. The Bengals are still high on Penny Sewell just because they know he could be that piece for them to keep Joe Burrow safe. But at the same time, it's hard to make that decision when you got such a high pick and you can literally grab another weapon for Joe Burrow too. Because their argument is, hey, we already have some decent linemen that we picked up, people that we re-signed and whatnot. We can go out there and try to get another average lineman to, offset and protect Joe Burrow. But do you want an average lineman or do you want a great lineman that is drawing comparisons? Who did they say he was drawing comparisons to? Kelsey, Kelsey's brother.
Jason.
Jason Kelsey, and then there was another one. It doesn't matter, but at the same time, that's the hesitancy. You have a player like Jamar Chase, who Joe Burrow is comfortable with, has played with. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna be mad either way because I know they'll figure that line out at some point. They got to. It's been too long. They have to figure it out at some point.
Hold on. Yeah. Before Miles goes, we're going because I know we're up against it. Yo, as a Giants fan, if they pick Jamar Chase, they're stupid. They're stupid. A great offensive tackle is more valuable than any wide receiver you can get. I'm sorry. The Giants still have to stabilize their line. We still have to do that.
Yeah.
So just you look at what's been going on in New York for a long time. I'm just saying you take Penny Sewell. You take Penny Sewell, you don't think twice. You take Rashawn Slater, if you think you have him graded higher, you don't think twice. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Wow.
Hey, you heard me. I said they got Penny Sewell at 5, so that's what I'm hoping for. But
3 to 5, Miles. You going with Mac Jones to San Fran?
I mean, that's what it's looking like, but I guess in this scenario, I'll go Mac
Give him Trey
Jones.
Lance. Give him Trey Lance, bro.
Yeah, right. That would be. Hey,
That would
that's
make
a sensible
sense.
pick.
It makes sense.
They still have Jimmy G, so you know what? Forget Mac Jones. He's dropping out of my top 5. I'm taking Trey Lance as the 49ers pick, a guy you can mold in that RPO system. He doesn't have to play right away, which, I mean, he only played 1 game last year and only has 13 starts in his college career, so he's a little raw. But he gets to sit behind Jimmy G. And I know 49ers fans don't want to hear that. They're tired of Jimmy G, but, I mean, 1 more year can't hurt if you get your guy in the draft. So I think if they take Trey Lance, then that's a good pick. At 4, I think that with this new coach, I don't know how much longer Matt Ryan and some of these older birds are going to be there, but I think they take the hometown kid. I think they take Justin Fields, comes in, sits behind Matt Ryan for a year, and learns the system and watches what it takes to be a MVP type of quarterback, because he did win an MVP not too long ago. So that's a good person to learn from. And then at 5, yeah, I like Jamar Chase for the Bengals, just because I think that there's linemen in the second round that are starter quality.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, why not take one of the best receivers in the draft? Even if you could take Kyle Pitts too, if you really wanted to, you could take Kyle Pitts. You just need to get one of those weapons for Joe Burrow because he needs him down there. But there's definitely some top linemen still available in the second round, like Landon, the guy from Alabama. Who else? There's a couple guys. So I don't think that they need to jump right on the Penei Sewell train. It's a good train to be on. Like, I'll tell you from Mekhi Becton, having that huge tackle, it goes a long way. But they need to air it out on this team. So get Jamar Chase, have him and T. Higgins 1 and 2, and attack these defenses.
So
I'm going
promoted to 3.
What?
Tyler Boyd just gets promoted to 3 after being
Tyler Boyd's amazing. Tyler Boyd's amazing. He's really
over
good.
1,000. I don't think that flies, bro.
He's really good.
And I think this is the case. I don't. Yeah, you so disrespectful. First of all, you are so disrespectful. He said have T. Higgins at the 1 and Jamar Chase at the 2. So like Tyler Boyd's 1,000-yard seasons the past 2 years don't mean nothing. Come on, like that's crazy.
Y'all were playing from behind a lot. It was a lot of stat padding on that squad.
Get out of here. I think if they do get Jamar Chase, I don't think you see a true number 1 wide receiver. I mean, the number 1 will probably be T. Higgins, but I don't think you'll see, a true second wide receiver. I don't think you can say it's Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd. I think it'll probably be Boyd the first year.
I think Jamar better.
I know. I hope egos don't come into play with that too.
I think Jamar better than T. Higgins. Like,
yeah.
As soon as he touched down in Cincinnati, he's that dude.
Yeah,
he's that dude, and he's Joey's boy already.
Right. They already got that chemistry. It'll be interesting for sure.
Let me ask you this question, right? When it comes to the draft for the NFL, specifically the NFL, NBA, we could talk another day. NFL, like we mentioned Bengals. We're having this conversation with the Bengals. They need an offensive lineman, but the more talented person you're talking about is Jamar Chase. As an NFL team, what do you do when it comes to the draft? Do you take the best player on the board or do you draft by need?
It all depends, though.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how your free agency goes. Your free agency, you fill holes you need to fill. And in the draft, you take the best player available because you don't want to count on rookies anyways. If you're counting on too many rookies, then you're not in a good position. So you fill your holes in free agency, like a team I love dearly did this year, and then it allows you to take the best player on the board. So that's what you do. So then you get the freedom. You can do whatever you want, and you're not upset with the pick either way. But you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're relying on a rookie, right? That's never the goal. You never want to be there because they're gonna make mistakes. That's just a part of it. So I think that's the best philosophy you can have. But it really depends on every team. It just varies.
Yeah, I think we saw that today or whenever the trade happened with Carolina. And that's what their GM came out and said, hey, we wanted to get our quarterback situation squared away. That way, at pick number 8, we can take the best available player. So I think that philosophy speaks for itself. Hey, free agency, do what you got to do, make them trades, get your team right. That way, if you have an early pick like the Panthers do, you know what I mean, you can take the best weapon, the best available player to make your team better.
It's true. Yeah.
Transition, flag on the play segment. First one, we're going to go with Tyreek Hill. Left a $0 tip on a $65 bill. Accept or decline.
That's not surprising, yo. That's so not surprising. That is some that I just he looked the kind of guy who go to a restaurant and wouldn't tip anybody. I don't know why, but no, not surprising. Damn, that damn Tyreek Hill. Any punch a kid in his chest? Anybody who punch a kid in his chest just shouldn't. Nah, any kid that punch anybody, yo, you see, that's something a guy who punches kids in their chest would do.
Nah, I think he broke his kid's wrist. I think that's what it was.
And you ain't punch him in his chest?
He may have done both, but I know he broke his kid's wrist.
He has something that a guy who breaks his kid's wrist would do, man. Tyreek, see, we don't know these guys, bro. A $0 tip
on a $65 check, that's disrespectful.
He said $0 tip.
His defense, he said that he leaves it up to his girl to handle that, and obviously she didn't think it was good enough service. So he put it on his girl, but then he also tweeted that the service wasn't good. So I think it's a scapegoat trying to put his girl as the reason.
He's trash. He's trash, bro. And you
I don't
put
know
it
if he
on
has
his girl.
with money anyway. I don't know if you already heard the quote. You know, they asked, the Chiefs was like, "We want to restructure your contract," and he said, "I don't mess with the money. I leave it up to my agent and to my family." That right there alone also just sounds like that don't sound smart. That sounds like somebody will hear, not saying this is the case, but that sounds like something we'll hear 10 years from now, that Tyreek Hill is broke because his agent was investing money in casinos somewhere.
Right.
Who knows, man?
$0. I ain't rocking with it.
Did that man write? Did he pay with his card and then write the 0 in the part where you're supposed to put the tip? That's more disrespectful to me. He did that, bro?
Again, he said he didn't do it. His girl wrote it.
Crazy, bro. Not the Yo, he's crazy. He put a 0 there, bro.
Yep, I'm looking at the picture right now. It is a 0.
Is his signature?
No, they didn't put a signature up there. The picture just shows the bill was $65.53, and the tip part is a 0 with a line crossed through it.
Nah, regardless if your girl pays, like I don't care if the service was bad, bro. You getting paid millions of dollars, and I'm sure you scraped the plate, ate 3/4 of that thing at the least. You know what I'm saying? You don't go out to eat and not eat your plate whether the service is bad or not. He probably still scoffed down all that food. Like the least you could do is put, a $7 tip. Bro, your pockets ain't hurting. You put $7, and I know you could probably do the math on that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you leave it to his girl. You don't like addition.
This story's so bad that if you put a $7 tip down, it'd still be a horrible story either way. All right, but hey, man,
all right,
let's get out of this man's pockets. He's a clown. Donkey of the day. You gotta figure something out, bro. With that,
donkey of the day.
We gotta figure out a segment.
Yeah.
Next one, Brandon Marshall. We all saw this. Came out and said in one of his episodes that not everybody NBA roster has a guaranteed contract, accept or decline. Matter of fact, I'll give you the full quote. There's 4 guys on an NBA team that got guaranteed contracts, and everybody else can be cut today and don't got nothing. Look it up.
I only accept it because of how passionate he was and thinking that he was right. Like he was about to blow a blood vessel in his brain, in his forehead, because he's arguing something that he's clearly wrong, and everybody on the podcast knew he was wrong, but he was still fighting. That's like Greg and defense attorney stages early on.
It's definitely not the same. I don't be just that far left wrong, bro. He was just wrong. Like he didn't know what he was talking about. If I'm gonna get passionate about something, I know what I'm talking about. Regardless of what anybody will say, that much I can say. Like I don't know what I'm talking about. But, that show is great. Like I love that. I love their show. And honestly, look. It don't even matter that he was wrong. If we look at it from a business perspective, business is booming right now. He's getting retweets, people talking about it. But let me just say this too. Brandon Marshall was wrong about a lot of stuff, way too much. he really is wrong way too much. But I love the show, so I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. That was funny. Where'd you even get that from?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Breaking news though, before we go to the next one, I know Chris was asking about it before the show started while we were waiting for Greg to hop on from his personal flight and whatnot. Isaiah Thomas right now, 8 points, 3 for 5, 2 for 2 from 3 points. So, and it looks like he's playing well. Zion played tonight, and Lonzo played tonight. BI still isn't back yet. So just give a little update on IT. Next one, which we all saw, which was absolutely hilarious. Paul Pierce was let go from ESPN after his IG live of stripper and poker, accept or decline.
Hold on. Give this lady some respect. They were professional dancers.
Professional exotic dancers. That's right.
Hey, professional exotic dancers. I'm gonna accept just because, we talk about ESPN, like you said, the caption that you put up was the best. ESPN can't handle the truth, right? How you gonna fire? And I get it. But Paul Pierce, it's not like he's just a random reporter that works for ESPN. Now, if Sal Palantonio was out here doing this mess, yeah, they parting ways with Sal. You know what I'm saying? But we talk about Paul Pierce. You're talking about a man that's won multiple championships, right? He's been solid for ESPN. He's been professional. Let this man go take a vacation. Let him get away. Oh, this man, great. Let him go get away. Let him take a vacation and enjoy himself. Now, do I think he was wrong for going ahead and doing this on IG Live? Absolutely. I don't think you should be out here, if you hold a position, doing as a reporter and whatnot, you shouldn't be out here, videotaping these exotic dancers shaking their ass and whatnot, and in the background. But Greg, let's hear
Turkeys. We've been to Turkey.
Been where?
We've been to Turkeys.
Turkeys.
You don't remember? So he asked the chick where she from. She said Turkey. Paul Pierce said, "Yeah, we've been to Turkeys."
Yeah. She was confused as hell too.
I'll say this. I don't think it's right, but he should take a page out of Stephen A. book. Stephen A. always says this. Y'all work for ESPN, but ESPN is under Disney. Disney owns ESPN. So being that fact, you're not allowed to do that. You could go maybe work for Fox, go try to get a little gig on Undisputed or something like that, get your own show. ESPN, you're not doing that and keeping your job. I already knew. As soon as it came out and he ain't had that for his private friends, this Joker job was gone. I already knew that from the rip. But he seemed cool about it. He said everything was good. He's smiling and all that on his.
Because he made his money. Guess
who else is smiling? Everybody who loves basketball because he was horrible at his job. He sucked. It's the best thing that happened. He's horrible. He would go in there and say dumb stuff. He said he was better than D Wade. Y'all remember that? You remember when Jalen Rose cross-examined him and Michelle Beadle's in the back talking crazy? No, that was my favorite. And I'll miss him for those moments. I'll miss him for those moments. But for someone who calls himself the truth, he sure as hell capped a lot on ESPN. Well, I'm sure that he's gone. I'm happy he's gone.
Transition to the next topic. We just mentioned the Pelicans. Lonzo Ball was supposed to be traded. It didn't happen. It didn't go out. He was supposed to be traded for a failed pick for Kelly Oubre and a draft pick. And also on the Pelicans, staying in that same light, JJ Redick, came out complaining about David Griffin, saying that he did not keep his word. And according to him, David Griffin promised that he would trade him closer to his family, a.k.a. Brooklyn Nets or the Philadelphia 76ers. Takeaways from what's going on with the Pelicans organization in the front office, and is JJ Redick right for having a gripe about supposedly being promised this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start by saying this. JJ Redick can't complain about nothing. He's been in the league way too long. He hasn't been shooting well this year. That's like his main job, shooting under 40% from 3-point. Why would I trade you to Brooklyn? Who's to say that Brooklyn wanted him? Brooklyn has enough shooters. Philly has enough shooters. Who's to say that these teams even wanted you? But y'all go ahead.
I'm gonna say from this perspective, I know that production matters. I know that these organizations can do whatever they want. It's a business. We can do all that. We can talk about all the traditional reasons why he shouldn't feel hurt. This is a players' league, man. Like, this is a players' league. Like, now more than ever, catering to players' needs when these guys talk to each other and connect with each other. This is how the Nets got good. When the Nets were bad, they took care of players. That's what they were doing. Like, they took care of guys. Like Jared Dudley had no business being treated like a first-class citizen in Brooklyn. But that's what he was. And on multiple podcasts I listened to, and I was talking about this, and dudes just laughing in my face, and it's so sweet now that we are where we are. But it's because of this. Like, you take care of these guys, even when they don't play that great, even when it's not. Of course, you're gonna do what's in the best interest of your franchise, sure. But like, you do your best to honor promises to these players, because at the end of the day, the players run the league, and it's always gonna come back, and the shoe's always gonna be on the other foot. It's always gonna reverse itself. So Zion or Zoe, if they want to keep Zoe in the line, which it looks like they may want to, the way he's playing, may remember that. Like, these guys, these teams don't have any loyalty to these players, and it comes back to bite them all the time when these players leave and jump ship and go to other places. But then the fan base is all torn up and stuff like that. But you don't remember these little things. It's the little things in life. Like,
but do you think anybody wanted him though? Like, I could promise you, hey,
well, they could have brought him out.
I'm gonna send you the first tape, and first take like, nah, bro, I don't want you. Then it's not my fault.
That's different though.
Brooklyn Nets, as a Brooklyn Nets, you on the Brooklyn Nets. Y'all think y'all needed JJ Redick?
I think that's what it's taken him. They was tied to him, and I think if he was a buyout if he got bought out, then he would have been on the Nets.
Exactly, bought out. Trading. Yeah. Are y'all trading for JJ Redick?
No. Look, you could say that the Pelicans didn't do wrong because they went and got an asset or something in return for JJ Redick, something they can get. I understand that. That's fine. But if you're gonna promise a guy something, and it's not conditional. You don't say, well, if we can't trade you, we can't get you here, then look, we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. And now maybe that's what happened and we don't know. Maybe they did that. But for all we know, for what we know right now, that's not what happened. And these teams do guys dirty all the time. We've seen it. Like, we know this. So, I mean, look, I get it. Like, on the surface, it looks like a minor thing. But I think it's a big deal when you cross players and agents. Remember, because guess what? JJ Redick agent, he might have a big player on his books. How do we know he's not the agent of Jason Tatum or something like that? We don't know what agency he's signed to. These guys, it's all connected, and agents don't forget these things, and agents have a major influence. Rich Paul's the most powerful guy in basketball right now. Do not cross Ben McLemore. He's nobody, right? He just got signed by the Lakers. I promise you, he got done dirty. He also has Zoe. He has Darius Garland. He has AD, right? Like, it's gonna come back to bite you one way or another. I'm just saying, man. Like, you think about it from a big picture view. It's not just about the little move here for the Pelicans. It doesn't matter, but it's about the big picture stuff.
I don't think it hurts them in regards to David Griffin, and he has a good track record. So I don't think it hurts them. And again, in my opinion, outside looking, and we don't know what really happened, promises or whatever, I don't think nobody wanted JJ Redick where he wanted to go. If his two teams was Philly and Brooklyn, in regards of trading, nobody giving up assets to get JJ Redick. Not at this point in his career. Heck no. So in that point, kudos to him because he has a platform to do so. I don't think it's going to affect them as much. I think you might have some questions about it, but I think they did right by him. Nobody wanted to trade those two teams. I wouldn't trade for JJ Redick and giving up assets. And then on the flip side, Pelicans, I need an asset back or something. So I'm going to get back James Johnson, who plays defense and who's actually been playing well since he's been in New Orleans, and a draft pick. And JJ Redick been in the league for 45 years. Come on, bro. You know the vibes. You know what it is.
Right.
I kind of too think this is kind of the problem with the NBA is players. There's too much demanding where you want to go. Like, people can't just stay in one spot anymore and be happy that they're in the league and they're getting the chance to play the game that they love. Like, every time you look and you hear about, and I agree with you, Greg. I agree with you. The NBA does. And we see it across, different organizations. There's no loyalty. It's a business, which I understand too. But at the same time, like, to Antonio's point, if you're JJ Redick and you've been in the league this long, right, and you've had a successful career, and this is actually, one of your down years where you're not shooting the best and whatnot, you have no business demanding where you want to go. You can't say, I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to go, but I get it. You want to be close to your family, but like, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the NBA that are in places that they don't want to be in. They'd rather be a part of the Lakers, or they want to be in, Brooklyn or something like that. But again, like you just got to be happy that you're in the league. Like if you're that unhappy, don't play, sit out a year. But he's not in a position to do that or something like that. So I don't know, man.
Plus, like you said, you might want to be close to your family. He been in the league again for 47 years. Your fam know the vibes too. Ain't no what they signed up for. Daddy not gonna always be home. It's straight like that. You already noticed. This not daddy first year in the league. Come on now.
The crazy thing is too, what's funny about this is like, it's not like he asking like, oh, I want to be close to my family, so I'll go to the Knicks. Nah, he asking to be a part of the two top teams in the Eastern Conference. Like, they don't need you, bro.
Okay, but if you're asking where you want to go, okay, but if you're asking where you want to go, why the hell would you ask to go to the Knicks or go to
because his reason is I want to be closer to my family. If go to the Knicks.
But that's
nah. You can't have both. You can't have both.
Yo, if you pick the picture as it was solely the family perspective,
right? And if you want both, you have to be good enough to get that.
We know, Greg. It's really to win, and
of course it is. It's the winning comes first.
Then say that.
Painted the picture, man. I just
don't put it on. Don't put it on. I want to be next to my kids and my family.
No, listen, bro.
I'll send you straight to New York.
I want to read to little Susie before she go to bed. No, you trying to get that ring. You trying to get that ring. You trying to be with Brooklyn or Philly. Get that ring to get your best chance. That's what it really was. That's
how it is. I'm gonna tell y'all what I told you guys when the whole James Harden thing was happening. I know it's a very different situation. The players run the NBA.
Very different.
Run the NBA, and the players.
The only thing that's same in this is they both have their name starts with J. That's the only thing.
Yes, but like the players talk, bro, and you want to be looked at as you want to be looked at as an organization that does right by everybody because it's just better when you're trying to attract free agents. It's hard enough to attract free agents in New Orleans to begin with. Ain't nobody care about no gumbo. No one's coming down there for your food, bro. It's not a big market. It's a depressed market. No one wants to go there. No one goes there in free agency. All right, so like I'm just saying, when you start having a rap, when JJ Redick started going out there, he's a popular player around the league. He started telling guys you guys did him dirty. The front office did him dirty. That's going to affect you long term. I'm telling you, it was already hard enough as it was. David Griffin's job wasn't easy to begin with. You got to keep Zion there. Zion, nice kid. Zion, nice to that. Zion's gonna be nice till year 4 when it's free agency time. Just wait. He gonna get out of there. Just wait.
Yeah. I'm calling cap on it though. I think JJ Redick just mad. I'm calling cap on it. Miles over there being cute, not saying nothing. You got any takes on this JJ Redick situation?
I mean, like you said, he doesn't really have a say of where he doesn't have clout like that to just be demanding, oh, can you send me to Brooklyn like now? That's not his repertoire that he has. Like he's not calling shots. So that's why it was funny him talking about it on his podcast. But I mean, he has that platform to do so. But I mean, yeah, this will rub people the wrong way when they look at the Pelicans and free agency. I mean, like Greg said, people talk around the league. David Griffin's going to be there for a while, or at least until they lose more than they are right now. But like you said, the main thing is trying to keep those guys, Zion, Brandon Ingram, keeping them there to try to maybe attract somebody, because they weren't able to attract anybody when Anthony Davis was there. So it's like, is it that much different now than it was at that point? Because this team hasn't made the playoffs at all. Like, they were making the playoffs basically every year with Anthony Davis as an 8th seed, but I mean, that's still making the playoffs and still trying to compete. Like, Anthony Davis is probably one of the best players to ever play for that organization, and he didn't want anything to do with it after a while. So it's like, you can't alienate these players around the league, or else you're just going to be a wasteland for overpriced free agency people, and nobody's going to want to play for you. I don't see it. I don't see it happening over there.
Going on the Lonzo aspect, also with that, I think in regards to the fact of the JJ Redick situation, how they've handled Lonzo and what he's done, how they've used him, I can see in the next 4 or 5 years, they might just be left with BI and Josh Hart, honestly. If I'm Lonzo, I'm out regardless because the fact that y'all even put me in trade conversation, like I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to do. And me personally, I think that would have been a terrible trade. And it would have been kind of like we don't value Kelly Oubre. That's what y'all see that y'all need for y'all team. Kelly Oubre. Now, y'all was going to trade Lonzo Ball for Kelly Oubre and give them a pick. Because Kelly Oubre is worth a pick and Lonzo Ball.
I think it was a bigger deal. We just don't know the details. But regardless, if that's the return, it can't be the only thing we're going to get back. But, I told you that's what I'm saying. It's a flip end to this. Lonzo's not going to be loyal to them. Lonzo getting up out of there. It's just doesn't matter of time. Doesn't matter of time. It's the ticking time bomb. And he's making $20 million a year. Oh, yeah.
He's free agent this summer, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's restricted. I think they can match if they want to match the deal, but I think a team's gonna blow him out of the water with a good.
I hope so. I hope somebody give him an offer of $25 million a year. And Pelican, like, nah, I don't want to sign back. And like I said, I think just because it's the Pelicans and you feel me, this whole situation, JJ Redick, David Griffin, the organization, nobody wants to come play there, especially after AD left. And while AD was there, nobody wanted to come. I can really see them not having anybody there in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Lonzo's, I think, is definitely gone. Zion's he's not the talkative person, but trust and believe he's watching how they do it. Lonzo, and I don't know how much stock he takes in what JJ Redick said, but JJ Redick situation, I can see BI. BI's came out and said how much and how important Lonzo is. They do him dirty. BI might be out. And then you think for 1 second Zion is going to just stay there and be by himself? Y'all drunk. Next 5 years, Pelicans are going to be at the bottom of the league again, drafting LeBron James' son, probably.
Mikey Williams.
Mikey Williams was number 2 overall pick. So that's where they'll be. One of the things that did happen also, Drew Holiday got the big bag, 4-year, $160 million extension. Was this the right signing for Milwaukee?
His big bag busting out the Bentley Bentayga. Shout out Cardi B.
Cardi!
My man Drew Holiday got pizzade. All right? And the one thing I'll say about this, yes, I think he was a little overpaid. Great defensive player, but I will say this. I'm never going to – and we talked about it. I'm never going to knock a black man getting paid. Just not going to do it. Never going to knock a black man getting paid. Go ahead and get your money. If you think Milwaukee's home and you know, he was out there saying like, hey, man, you know, I'm never one to be courted and whatnot, but like you have a really good feeling when an organization feels good about you and you can tell like it's genuine and they want you here for years to come. And that's how he felt about them. So, yeah, I haven't watched Drew Holiday much. I'll be honest. But, you know, from what I've seen, he's a great defensive player. You know, he plays his role and he's able to, you know, only 6'3" and still able to switch on matchups and whatnot and hold his own. But $160 million, I think he's getting paid $30 million this year, $32 million next year, and it just goes up from that. I think it's 33 in year 3. You better be bringing Milwaukee a championship. We talked about it with Russell Westbrook. If you're getting paid that much money, there's got to be a championship tied to it at some point.
That's exactly where I want to go next. Do y'all think this is enough? This is their version of a big 3. They got Drew, Chris Middleton, and Giannis locked up for the next 3 years, possibly a 4th year with Chris Middleton on that option. Is this going to be enough for Milwaukee?
Not right now. I mean, it's not enough to go against Brooklyn or Philly, but it's enough to be decent and be in that top 3, top 4 in the East. But I don't think this pushes the needle enough for them to make any headway in this league right now. But like Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday, that's a solid 3. But when you're going up against teams that have Harden, Durant, and Kyrie, it's like that big 3 stands no chance against the Nets. So it's like they had to pay him because they gave up draft capital for him as a like kind of last ditch effort to build around Giannis, but it's not going to do anything. Like they're not going to win a championship. Giannis can't shoot. He is what he is right now, and what he is not enough in the playoffs. So when playoff time comes around, I mean, Drew Holiday, he'll do his thing, but I mean, there's limitations on this team. So I don't see them doing much or making much noise in the playoffs.
I think this is where it's concerning, though. They had to lock him up for all the reasons you mentioned. But Kyrie, KD, Harden are also locked up for the next 3-4 years. So if anything, I think it just puts them at number 2. They'll always be in that conversation between 2 and 3. I think they have a great defensive team. They might honestly be the best threat to Brooklyn because of their defense and how they play that team defense aspect. And you add PJ Tucker to that mix. But I can't see a championship coming. And that's what the whole main goal is with having a Giannis, a star like that. I think great signing though. Drew Holiday deserves it. I think he deserves every penny. So underrated.
Mm-hmm.
He can guard 1 through 5. He's basically your part closer with Chris Middleton. He's going to play closer because Giannis isn't your closer, which takes that off of his shoulders, and Giannis can just go crazy and not have to worry about that. So I think he deserves every penny of it. But in the long run, like I said, that Brooklyn tandem is also locked up for the next 3-4 years. So I think everybody in the East is just jacked up. You ain't doing nothing.
But would you feel better about the Bucks if they had traded for Chris Paul instead?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 They dropped the ball there. He was out there for the taking, and they didn't make a move. And now the Suns are what? Second in the West, which is a tougher conference. So
I think they may have tried to. But Paul had his pick. Chris Paul had his choice. He got to choose where he was going to go.
Okay. That's
what happened. And why go to Milwaukee when you can go to Phoenix and play with D-Book?
Yeah.
It's not even a choice. And D-Book just better than oh, my bad. I'm about to say D-Book better than Giannis. I guess y'all not ready for that yet. So we'll leave it for next time.
Oh, here we go.
Not ready for that yet.
Speaking of, so perfect transition, right? What is the difference between superstar and star? Get at superstar, star, and good player. Break it down to me what the difference is when it comes to the league. Superstar, star, and just a good player. Because some would say Devin Booker would fall under that category as a good player. Some will put Giannis in the category of superstar. Some will put him, obviously, in Greg's mind, he's as a star. So, Greg, tell me what the difference is then. If you're putting Giannis just as a star.
Giannis is a star. My rating, my superstar criteria is very tough. I told you guys how I felt about Steph Curry earlier this year. I said a superstar is the number one option on championship level on a team. Forget the championship level piece of it, but a number one option on a team that they are clearly impacting winning on, and they're getting them to they're bringing them to a different level. Like they're the reason why they're on that level, right? They're the reason why they're the main piece. So LeBron's a gold standard. No one's ever been better at it in NBA history than LeBron James. They're being a superstar. James Harden is a superstar. James Harden affects winning. You can say whatever you want about him. He affects winning. Even in those Houston days, he clearly affected winning. When he leaves, the whole thing falls apart. That's what I mean, right? Like a guy who you can't operate without. Chris Paul, superstar. Guy, when he steps on there, your whole culture of your team changes. It's more than scoring the ball. It's more than being a good passer. It's more than that. It's being able to score, pass, defend. It's being able to affect the game in more ways than just one and completely turn your team's fortunes around. That's a superstar. So by those standards, Carmelo Anthony was never a superstar. Never was. Because he never did that. He was not the sole reason why those Denver Nuggets teams were great. That Chauncey Billups is just as vital. It's actually crazy. Like the reason why Carmelo gets that love, and he should, is he's one of the greatest scorers ever. That don't make you a superstar though. Devin Booker's not a superstar. He's a star. Giannis is not a superstar. He's a star level player. I think that's the thing, that you fool yourself into believing that he is a superstar. You put yourself in a situation the Bucks are in. The Bucks have to pay him. They're not a destination. So you got to keep your star. I understand that, but he's not. I don't think he single-handedly flips your team's fortunes. He makes a big difference, but in the playoffs too, this is the other piece of it. Can you win in the playoffs? Can you get your teams winning the playoffs? Superstars do that. Superstars do that. This criteria is crazy. Kobe's a superstar, right? Like, we're gonna go back. Kobe's a superstar because he was able to affect winning. He learned how to win, and he's able to learn how to affect winning. He got really smart and good at it. So it's levels to win. Huh?
Kawhi Leonard?
That's a great question. Kawhi on the fence for me, bro. I know people aren't gonna like this. People are gonna say he's a superstar. Lamel's looking like he might get a stroke over there. I don't know, for real. I don't know. I told you how I feel about Kawhi already. The case for him is, I told you, I think he's a little overrated. He played for the Spurs. He played with TD. He played with Tony Parker. He was in a perfect ecosystem. He went to the Raptors, another perfect ecosystem. He's never had to do the work that a guy like Bron has to do. Well, look at Steph Curry this year. What's happening? What's happening in Golden State? Hey, man, listen. If Bron was Steph Curry's age right now and he's on that Warriors team, they're going to the playoffs and they're winning a series or two. LeBron is the gold standard for superstars, bro. Like, that's my criteria. LeBron's the criteria, and don't tell me that LeBron's LeBron in the comments when they see this, because Chris Paul has the same effect on teams. Chris Paul goes to your team, you start winning. And Chris Paul don't got to drop 30 points a night. See, that's my thing. That's my thing. Basketball is such a nuanced sport, bro. Like, winning plays are so subtle and they're so subtle. You don't have to be shooting flashy. You don't have to be dropping dudes. Kyrie's not a superstar. By my standards.
And that's big coming from you.
Huh?
Would you put Luka in that conversation?
Not yet, but Luka has all the makings of a superstar. But Luka's defense is so bad that he's not in the conversation yet for me. He's not a superstar yet. Melo has all the makings of a superstar. He has to buy in defensively more. Not yet. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's the subtle things. It's not about having triple doubles. That's why Russell Westbrook has never been a superstar. I don't care you win MVP. He's never been one. It's not about your numbers. It's the subtle things you do to affect winning. It's the diving on a loose ball. It's the doing things that it's being the superstar, the best player on your team, but doing things that the 11th man would do. Because that's what Bron does. Bron take charges. He don't have to take charges. Like, he makes winning plays. You just watch the game close enough, and that's what I'm saying. So affecting winning is ultimately the biggest the determining factor of what makes a superstar a superstar. But yeah, like, you see, I don't think Kawhi or Paul George are superstars. That's why I think the Clippers are overrated.
That's a great take. Yeah, I agree with everything. I feel very similar. I think that was all spot on. Like, Paul George was going to say, yeah, he's a star during the regular season, but obviously not a superstar if he can't come up big in the clutch in the playoffs. But we've been talking about that. But nah, man, I feel like you just spit facts.
I be thinking about this all the time. Been arguing with dudes about this for years, and people look at like I'm crazy, bro. Kawhi is not a superstar. Steph Curry is incredible. I don't think he's a superstar. I'm sorry, Steph. I don't think he's a superstar. And they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy, bro. They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, hey, Dame has a better superstar case than Steph does to me. No cap.
Would you put Dame as a superstar right now?
Yes.
Miles, superstar, star, good player.
Superstar, star, good player. I mean, a superstar obviously has to be, they're probably your best player. They got to affect winning. Like, wherever they go, that team has to at least do something. They have to make some noise. So, like you said, Devin Booker, before Chris Paul got there, didn't really affect winning. So, I mean, he's a really good player, but he's not a superstar just yet. Not until he starts doing those little things that help. I mean, he did it for an 8-game stretch in the bubble. Take that back. But in the bubble, though. But it's tough. It's a tough criteria to meet because I feel like there's not that many superstars in the league, period, though. There's a handful of superstars in the league. Like, there's stars, like, I'm trying to think. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler is an interesting conversation. Jimmy Butler's a winner, yo. He's a winner. And I look at him. I have him in high regard.
Jimmy is a star because Jimmy will never, in my opinion, can never be the number one on your team and you're going to win a championship. Jimmy is that number 2 guy.
If Bron didn't exist, he would have won one last year, bro.
Yes. And if
Jimmy the one,
Jimmy's special.
number one.
Jimmy, if in a league where Bron not that man.
No, see, Bron's there. Answer the question: can Jimmy Butler be a number one on a championship team?
I'll tell you this right now. I'd rather have Jimmy as my number one over guys like over Giannis.
That's given.
It's not a given. No, wait. It's not a given. These dudes, they're gonna be in the comments talking crazy.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about everyone here. We all would take Jimmy over Giannis. That's guaranteed. I'm asking Miles, right? You think Jimmy could be a number one on a championship team?
I mean, there's all types of factors that come into play there. Like if he doesn't have the right pieces around him, then what? There's only one guy in the league that can really carry a team with no names, and that's LeBron James. Anybody else, they're not doing it. So
is my criteria too tough?
Huh?
Is my criteria too tough?
No, I don't think so.
So is Steph Curry superstar by your standards? Well, all you guys on here. Is Steph Curry superstar based on what you guys have seen this year and all the other years where he's not had a stacked deck?
But when did he have a stacked deck, though? Only when KD was there. I mean,
they won 72 games without KD, my boy.
Yeah,
they won 72 games without KD. We forget. They had Clay. They had Sean Livingston. They had and look, the bench was loaded. Let's forget the bench. They had Clay, Draymond, and they had Harrison Barnes, who is a very good player for them too. Putting him and Clay on the same team isn't fair, bro. To have two shooters that great on the same team, the Cards were. He won 73 games. He was a big part of the reason why they won 73 games. Steph deserves credit, and that's why he got into this. That's what launched him into superstar status. My thing was, where the chink in the armor was for me when Draymond was gone. What happened? Draymond, the dude that affects the winning the most on that team, is more than Steph. More than Steph. The people want to talk trash about Draymond. He is so valuable. Now, is Draymond a superstar? No, because there's more to it than just affecting winning by doing the little things. You got to be able to close games. It's a mixture of all those things, but you got to have it all. You can't be missing a piece of it. You got to have it all. Kobe did the little things out there. People talk about Kobe did the little things out there. Kobe played D. Kobe knew tendencies. Kobe was a maniacal guy about the game. He knew every last detail. That's what made him a superstar. That was it. Kobe's work ethic made him a superstar. He worked his way into that conversation. But Brad Beal, not a superstar, just a good scorer. Carmelo Anthony, not a superstar, just a very great scorer. He's just great. Hey, to be a superstar, this is a life lesson, bro. It's very few dudes that are elite out here at anything. Most people out here are mediocre. That's just the reality of the world. That's the way the world works. That's why the best of the best get paid the way they do, right? So you talk about superstar, I just think that the criteria gotta be bad high. The bar gotta be high, and the bar is LeBron. Because no one's ever done it better in NBA history than LeBron James.
I want to end the show off with this one. Nah, Mom, go ahead.
No, because I'm like, damn, if the bar's LeBron, how the hell is anybody going to ever
I'm saying, am I setting the bar too high?
Well, if you're doing that, then maybe, yeah.
So what's your bar? So what's your criteria then? You see, it's crazy. I'm up against the time. What's your criteria then?
I mean, like you said, they have to affect winning. They got to be clutch in crunch time, because if you're not coming up clutch, then most likely you're not that guy. Like Jimmy, I don't want to make it a hot take, but I feel like Jimmy's
a superstar, bro.
On the verge of that.
Jimmy a superstar, bro. Jimmy checked all the boxes, and bro, Jimmy checked all the boxes. By the way, your criteria is the same as mine. I didn't hear no difference. Let's keep
you're describing LeBron.
Let's keep it.
I'm not putting. Gotta hit the clutch shot.
Sorry, I'm not putting Jimmy as my number one on I'm not doing it. Jimmy's a star. He's a closer. He's a dog. He's not a superstar though. I'm not putting him in the conversation. Remember, the superstar is a handful. I'm not putting him in that conversation with KD, Bron. Nah, I cannot put him in that conversation.
Oh, year one, he takes Miami to the finals.
Bro.
Man, bro. No, that's 1 year. 1 year.
In the bubble too.
1 year.
In the bubble. They were on that trajectory already before that.
1 year. 1 year. We talking about LeBron, KD, they've done this consistently year and year and year and year. Jimmy's a star. I agree. He's on that borderline, but he's a star. He's not a superstar. He's not the number one. Just like I don't think y'all could give me your opinion on this. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is a number one on a championship team.
No, it ain't even a conversation. Who's talking about that? No.
He's not efficient enough. He's not efficient enough.
No,
he's going to get 26 on 26 shots.
No. I love him, but no. He's very good. No.
Rudy Gobert might be the best player on 18.
Nah, chill. Yeah, he's wilding. He's wilding.
Trying to end the show with the hot take.
No, he's wilding.
He's the same in regards of Draymond Green to the Warriors.
Nah. Because look, I'm not saying that Draymond Green is the best player in the Warriors. Obviously, Steph Curry is the best player in the Warriors.
No. I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Are you saying Rudy Gobert is more important to their whole operation? Without him, it all falls apart. You think if they lost Rudy Gobert, it'd be a bigger loss than if they lost Donovan Mitchell. That's what you're saying.
Hands down.
And on some level, I can understand that. I just think that Don's their closer. He's very important to them. Rudy Gobert is a very impactful player with his defense. That's it. That's it. And offensively, he catch some lobs, like, right? But nah, he's not in that conversation yet. Those guys at that age never are. You know who was? Bron at Don's age, when Bron was 23, when Bron was 21, dude was already a superstar. Hey man, it's no one's ever done it better, and that's why he's my gold standard, bro. Not Michael Jordan, it's him. So I'm keeping it 1,000 with you, because until Scotty and them dudes get there, we wasn't talking about that. He was another guy dropping 63 with some nice sneakers on. It was cool. Like, you dropping points, you getting points. That's cool. That's great. Were you winning games? Because Bron did it with Eric Snow, with Donnell Marshall. That's what Bron did it with, huh?
Solid.
Who?
They were solid. I'm saying.
Miles, don't do that. We don't got time for that. So you know what it is. Like, that's the point. Like, if we're talking about superstar, Bron's the gold standard, bro. And if you can't come close to it, and I don't think Kawhi has really come close to it. I really don't. People are gonna be mad about me saying Kawhi not a superstar and Steph Curry not a superstar. But just look at it, man. Just look at the situation. Because Kawhi by himself not winning. I don't think he's winning you a series by himself. No cap. He's just not. A playoff series.
LeBron's a gold standard. It's only a handful of active stars in this league, and I think superstar is kind of just thrown around too loosely.
It is.
I think calling players great also is just thrown around too loosely. We are definitely going to talk about, though, on the next episode. Maybe we'll hop on live tomorrow. We'll talk about the debated list of the under 25 players, under 25 age-wise players. It's a lot of pushback on that list. But I know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench mob. We out.
Peace.